Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with NETGEAR. Today's host is Jordan Cooper, and he is their Senior Account Manager, and he'll be presenting with us today. If anyone has any questions, please be sure to submit them in the question box so that Jordan can answer them at the end of today's presentation. Jordan, I am finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Julie. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for taking some time to learn about NETGEAR. Like Julie said, my name is Jordan Cooper. I'm the Senior Account Manager covering California and Texas and Hawaii, so Microcom is my partner. If you've been to one of my presentations before, this will be a totally new product that we're going to be talking about, but with some talking about some previous presentations that we did like last week. I like to make it known that while I am in sales, I'm working to become a network engineer, so I know quite enough to be dangerous, but definitely not quite at the engineer level. So just keep that in mind that I'm dangerous to break things, but I may not have all the technical answers, but can get those to you. So if you've been to one of my presentations, some of this will start looking a little bit familiar. The first thing that I kind of like to do is just kind of start off talking about some company facts about NETGEAR. I don't like to read every single individual bullet point or point. I'm a firm believer in death by PowerPoint, so I try not to kill anybody. But what the reason why we post this company facts and why I think it's important to know is looking at this when we're doing over $1 billion revenue with just a little bit over 1,000 employees, it just shows that NETGEAR runs lean. And as a result, we are really agile in the marketplace. We can make some big impacts and make some big changes in the market and lead the industry in a lot of things, but not have to have the price tag to do so. Another thing that I like to make sure that is well known, that when it comes time to NETGEAR, every product that we design, every product we come out with, every product that we end of life and re-come out with a new product, we always try to achieve three main things, and those things are reliability, affordability, and we want to be easy to use. Reliable in the sense that we just want to work, and we want to work a long time. In fact, one of my partners the other day shared a picture of me shared a picture with me. He had a switch that was just completely covered in probably like half an inch thick of just dust. This 8-port switch, and you couldn't even see lights on the switch, but the thing was still pumping away and doing just fine. I'd been there for about 12 years, he said, so it was definitely long overdue. But that's what we like to hear, and that's the kind of the expectation that we want to have. Another thing, when it comes time to our reliability, one thing that we publish that can be found on any of our products is the MTBF, or the mean time between failures. It's something that we publish mainly because it's a symbol for us. It's a symbol of pride. It's a accomplishment to show the reliability of our products. And you'd be surprised. I mean, there's some that are going up to 400 years. I think most of them are at least 100 plus years between failures. And so it's easy as somebody who, if you're an MSP or if you're an installer, an integrator, or even just using this for your own business, knowing that NETGEAR is going to be a good choice because it's going to probably last as long as you're in business, and that's an easy sell there. When it comes to affordability, our plays in the SMB market, we have products that can go up to the enterprise level, and oftentimes do get put in enterprise businesses and data centers. But our main focus is going to be those small to medium businesses. And then lastly, we want to be easy to use. We don't want to have to put out training courses or classes. We plug and play. We want to be simple. We want things to be where they expect it to be. Not only is it less frustration, but it saves time. And we all know in today's world, the limited time we all have, every hour we spend installing something that shouldn't take another hour is an hour wasted. So those are the three main things that we always strive to be with all of our products. Now, NETGEAR is known for our wireless, especially in both the consumer and the business. The consumer, I think the last stat that we published was like 70% of the world's routers are a NETGEAR router. That's of course home routers, but we're also making a big name. We have made a big name for ourselves in the wireless field. If you're not really familiar with our wireless section, here's a little bit of some of our wireless products. These are our Wireless Pro Wi-Fi access points. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I've done presentations before in this past, so if you haven't really seen our routers, you can go and take a look at the presentation on YouTube, or you can reach out to Microcom. But pretty much Wi-Fi 6 is where we're at right now with Wi-Fi 7. Gosh, that's crazy. It's hard to even say Wi-Fi 7 is coming down the pipe, but it is. It's on the roadmap and it's being developed right now. And so it's kind of like, man, one step at a time. I feel like there's Wi-Fi 6E is hasn't had a chance to really even get fully established, but just technology is progressing so quick. But NETGEAR's always been, on that forefront. We always want to make sure we're coming up with the latest and greatest, and we're keeping up with the technology. And so these Wi-Fi 6 access points do just that. Every single one of these access points are going, if you're going to notice, are going to have a 2.5 gig port on the back. What good is the speed if you don't have the port to support it? And so it's just one of those ways that NETGEAR is making sure that we're putting things where things make sense. We're doing like Wi-Fi 6. We have Wi-Fi 6 on both the 5 and the 2.4 band. It just makes sense to do it that way. Not everybody else does, but we do. And so we want to make sure that when we do it right, and so it will work as optimal as possible. So with the Wi-Fi that we offer, like we just kind of talked about, is highly reliable and secure. We make sure we have some comprehensive reporting through our Insight platform. And then with that comes that Insight platform, you get extensive control, and with real time. That's another big factor right there, real time. When it comes time to reporting anything that goes down, ports go down, access points go down, any issues, having real time within less than 30 seconds of notification of when that happens. It's nice to have that, knowing that you'll go down just by the notification, probably faster than either your customer or yourself will even notice on your computer or laptop. Multi-location with multi-tenancy capability, another big factor that makes makes sense to have when it comes time to having the remote management. And then price to succeed, again, when coming at that affordability where we want to be. Now we were hitting, everything was solid, and everything is solid when it comes time to our wireless access points. But one thing we get constant feedback on is, hey, a router. We need a router with this. And for the longest time, we went through some transitions with routers. A few years ago, back pre-pandemic, we had our BR500, which was a fairly good router, I would say. But it had one kind of the flaw that was the Insight site-to-site VPN really wasn't that great. And so we end-of-lifed it, and we came out with the BR200. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, with that being such a new product, before we could even ramp up to scale, the chipset was cut right away. And so we've been kind of lacking, for better terms, in the router portion. And now that things have changed, and chipsets are starting to, I should say, have been being produced just fine, and inventory is getting back up to where all pre-COVID levels. Now is the time to come out with a new router. And I look back and I say, wow, this may have been a good thing that this happened. It gave us time to really listen on what the market needs and what the market wants, and at the price point the market wants. And so it's finally here. I'm happy and very proud to announce that this month we finally came out with our new Pro router. The router is called our PR60X. We also have another router that is a PR460X. That's going to be pretty much the same model. It's designed for AV play. That's a whole different webinar that we can do in the future, that we will likely do in the future. So today, for today, we're going to be talking about the PR60X, since that's probably going to be the most common one that you're going to face. So coming out with this, as you can see, a couple things that I want to point out here that you'll notice right off the back. This is desktop mountable and rack mountable. so 19-inch, so it'll fit in your standard rack. If you notice right here too, we also put the racking mount holes right here on both sides. So meaning that this can be front mounted or back mounted. It can front facing or rear facing, whichever fits. Just again, stuff that makes sense with NETGEAR of what we want to do, that fits everybody's deployment and where they're putting it in. So we'll talk more about this. Where we see this really fitting is going to be in your either site to site or small office. This one being the small office, right? This is kind of the standard network layout that we're all pretty familiar with. You come in with your internet provider, your ISP, to the modem. Then we're going to hook up to this router. Then it makes sense to just tie it in with also some sort of managed switch. And especially if it's going to be a multi-gig managed switch. We'll talk about some of the specs here in a minute, but having a multi-gig switch is crucial when hooking up to this multi-gig router. And then of course this is going to go to your nodes and of course go to your either IDFs or other stuff like that. It's going to hook up your phones, security cameras, all that kind of good stuff. Of course, this is all going to be managed and can be managed through the Insight Cloud portal. That's something that NETGEAR has been investing heavily in, and pretty much all products, all smart devices that come out will have the capability of being managed via that Insight Cloud portal. If you're not familiar with that yet, you should be. I've done a couple presentations. We did one last week on it as well too, so check that out. Another thing right here, just to show that how this another deployment where this works is headquarters to regional offices. Where you can do an IPsec site-to-site VPN between these two. This does have that capability. And again, both of these can be managed through either multi-tenancy and again with the multi-location capability through the remote cloud portal. Let's talk about some of the juicy details, if you will, the features and the benefits of this router. So right off the bat, it's a 10 gig with multi-gigabit throughput and a 2.5 gig WAN port. So that's crucial right there. Networks are getting faster, especially with that Wi-Fi 6. And as it's getting faster, ISPs are coming in with faster speeds. Feels like yesterday that gig speed was the fast, crazy speed of, man, if you have gig speed, you're somebody. Nowadays, gig speed has kind of become the standard. In fact, I know in my own area, I have fiber, and my fiber is 5 gig capable. So you bet I did sign up for that fiber for that 5 gig speed. Just barely, I switched from 1 gig to 5 gig in anticipation because I myself want this router to put in my house because of the multi-gig capability. Another great thing right here, it does have a 10 gig / multi-gig WAN LAN configurable port. So this right here means there's one port on here that can be another WAN port, meaning there was a lot of demand for a dual WAN router. Well, that's here. This is now a dual WAN router that is not just a dual WAN, but a multi-gig, and one port gets all the way up to 10 and the other one goes up to 2.5 gig. So this is where I'm going to be enjoying my 5 gig speed, internet speed, hooking up to this WAN port here. And I like that NETGEAR also made it configurable. Some people don't need dual WAN failover; they don't need that high availability. So we make it as a LAN port if that's what you want to use it as. Again, just another way that NETGEAR's doing things that just makes sense when it comes time to your network. Then also on top of these WAN/LAN port, there are 3 2.5 gig LAN ports and 1 10 gig fiber SFE plus LAN port. So that's, if you're doing the math here, we got 1 WAN port, another WAN or LAN, and then 4 ports here that's on the LAN. So really you could have 5 ports on the LAN or 4 and 2 WAN if you wanted to. But again, having this multi-gig capability, if you look going back to that previous slide, putting in with a multi-gig switch makes sense when you're having that much traffic. We're really trying to eliminate the bottleneck areas of a network. And so put in your 10 gig switch and hook it up to the 10 gig router with 10 gig speed. Boy, are you looking pretty. This router does support up to 8 DHCP servers, and you can leverage up to 8 VLANs. And then remember that this is the Insight Cloud Management. Now, a real big game changer here. Okay, this is huge that NETGEAR did. One of the big feedbacks that we got with Insight was Insight is the remote cloud management platform, but it's also you can also manage it through the local GUI. So if you don't want to have the remote management or pay for that management feature, even though it's as cheap as it is, if you don't want to pay for it and you just want to local manager, you can. However, one of the big feedbacks that we got was, fortunately at this time, it wasn't communicating. The cloud was not communicating with the local GUI. So whatever changes, if you set up a VLAN locally, you would not see that VLAN on the Insight remote cloud management, and vice versa. If you set it up remotely, you wouldn't see it locally. And that was kind of a big request and a big ask that we do. And so this router, right out the box, does have that capability. That Insight, the remote cloud management software, will communicate with the local GUI. Now it is also on the roadmap to come up with the software update to with everything else, or like our switches, to do the same, to be able to be configured, and those changes on the local will be visible and can be seen on the remote, and vice versa. So big change there, big update there, just a way that NETGEAR shows that we're listening and we're implementing the changes that just make sense. And then lastly, of course, yep, that IPsec and site-to-site VPN capability there. This router has, of course, that capability. It does have a built-in firewall. The built-in firewall isn't anything crazy. Keep costs down. It's not a UTM simply, but it does basically your basic natting. It does your state packet inspection. It does your site blockers and things like that. Just what you typically would expect with the standard business class router. Here's the technical specs. I'm not gonna definitely not gonna dive into all of this here, but it's there for you to view and look over. This does come with a 3-year hardware warranty with 90 days free of technical support. If you want to have more technical support, that would be just pro support, and this is what that's the ordering SKU that you would get. Like all products that come out with Insight capability, it also comes with an Insight subscription included. So if this is something that you haven't tried out yet, but you do want to try it out, any device that you buy from Microcom, whether it be an access point or a switch or this router, whether it, right out the box will have that 1-year Insight subscription included. So that way you can try it out and see how you like it for yourself. And again, if you want to get more familiar with it, you can always reach out to your Microcom rep. You can always also call NETGEAR's pre-sale support and ask some questions. We're more than happy to help you there too as well. Now, if you are designing a network and you would really just like some feedback on maybe either where to start or what access points to choose and all that good stuff, there's a pro Wi-Fi design email address that if you want to write that down, take a screenshot of that computer. This is a free service that NETGEAR offers at no charge to you guys. This is showing that we're here to help. This email address, prowifidesign@netgear.com, goes to an inbox of about 6 people, and all 6 of those people are level 3 engineers. So they are high-end, top engineers, and so they really know what they're doing, guys. This isn't somebody who just is responding to a box and it's your level 1 and they offer very little support. These guys can get into the full nitty-gritty and do everything that you want them to do and all that good stuff. So definitely utilize that. Definitely write that down. And again, if you're designing or doing a network build out, or you just want some recommendations, want some help with where to choose when it comes time to NETGEAR and implementing your network, feel free to reach out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just strictly just related to Wi-Fi, because these are level 3 engineers. They're engineers for both switches and the routers and all that stuff. You can email them and they're more than happy to help you with that. So other than that, we'll go ahead and open it up to some questions, Julie. Julie, are you there?
Hi, Jordan. Thank you so much for that great presentation. Sorry for that small delay there. I am here now. We've got some great questions from the audience. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one. Here we go, Jordan. How does NETGEAR handle firmware updates and security patches for its products?
Yeah, great question. So the first thing is the best thing to do with the updates is it comes through either email or notification. If you have Insight, if you are using that cloud remote management platform Insight, that's probably the best way to get these updates and security patches and firmware updates. The great thing about with Insight is the updates that come out, you can schedule. For example, I have on my home lab every Sunday at 2 a.m. between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., I have it scanned for any updates and any firmware updates or security patches or anything like that comes out. And so if there is an update that's available, it will update it only during that time. If it isn't able to completely update for whatever reason, even though it should be plenty of time, it'll pause, revert back to the old, and then wait till the next time. So you can do things like that, or you can just go in and do a manual. Every time there's an update, you can just go in and hit manual update. So, but that's usually the best. That's again one of the main reasons why it just makes sense with NETGEAR to go with the Insight Cloud platform, just for those firmware updates and being able to schedule those outside of business hours is really big. Otherwise, it's just going in locally and installing when you get that notification that there's an update, firmware update, and that's usually sent via an email if you wanted to do it locally. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan. Next question here for you. What remote management and monitoring options are available for SMBs using NETGEAR's products?
Again, that would be the Insight. That's the remote management platform. If you're not familiar, you can go to netgear.com/insight and learn all about it there. I mean, we are throwing so much support at Insight. It'd be hard not to find something about Insight when it comes time to NETGEAR. You can call our pre-sale support and we can tell you about Insight. You can email that pro Wi-Fi design and we can tell you about the pro support. You can go, or the Insight. You can go to our website and go to netgear.com/insight and see and read all about Insight. We host webinars talking about Insight. It's blasted pretty much everywhere, but that's the platform that we use for SMB remote management.
Excellent. Thank you for that again, Jordan. Next question. Are there any options for the integrating cloud services with NETGEAR's SMB solutions?
So I'm not sure. Maybe that person can clarify that question because I'm not sure. Pretty much all of our products are in the SMB solutions. And the only thing that Insight is not integrated on is if you have an unmanaged or a small home, small office, access point, those are single deployments. If you have an unmanaged switch, of course, there's no management there, so you wouldn't need Insight. The only device that could possibly even have Insight that does not is currently right now our layer 3 switches, and that's like our M4350s, our MR300s, the our 4250s, those kind of switches that have fully management that where you can get into the CLI. Those don't, even though they're an SMB product, those are kind of higher end SMB products. That's where you're introducing 10 gig and even 40 gig, 100 gig. Those are the switches that get into those realms. But those are the only ones that don't have the remote cloud management at this time. But all other products, if it has some sort of management, if it's a smart managed, it would have the cloud management as an option.
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan. Next question here. Are all apps set for dual band units on Wi-Fi 6?
Yeah, all of them are. On the Wi-Fi 6E, that's where you introduce the new band. But to answer that question, yes, it's all Wi-Fi 6 and all.
Great, thank you, Jordan. Next question here. What management and monitoring tools are available for businesses using NETGEAR's Pro Wi-Fi solutions?
And that would be the Insight. That would be the number one tool that you would want to use for those.
Thank you. It sounds like Insight's so fantastic and covers so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. Next question here. Can you provide insights into the scalability of NETGEAR's Pro Wi-Fi solutions as businesses grow?
Oh, what a great question. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole purpose of every business is to grow. So it would make sense just with every uh, product we develop and every system that we use is to have scalability. And an example would be when it comes time to insight. Again, we'll go back to the insight because that's really where when you're scaling, you need ease of management. We don't want to be managing 50 access points all individually. So when it comes like through insight, we have been doing updates to increase scalability. For example, it used to limit about 30 access points per location. Well, now that has been bumped up to 200. Now 200 access points per location. We used to limit how many locations you could have. I believe it was like up to 50, and now we've upped it to 10,000 different locations that you could possibly have if you wanted to. And that's probably way overkill. But again, scalability. So yeah, NETGEAR is constantly doing things to increase the scalability of businesses and their deployments. When it comes time to like our access points, that's why we start with what we have like 610s, and our 610s is kind of the lower end. And then scalability, we have all the way up to the 630, which is a tri-band 4x4x4, super large. Being able to deploy something like that is great for scalability, basically. And so each access points that we have is designed for scalability. If you need to go up, we have a next level up above that one. So, and like I said, the Wi-Fi 7 is even being developed right now. So it just kind of ties in that, yeah, we are definitely in the forefront of making sure that if you're going to go with the NETGEAR product, we want to make sure that it's going to be scalable and grow as the business grows.
Sounds good, Jordan. Thank you so much for that. Next question here. Is the PR60X just a router or also an app built within?
Good question. Yeah, so it is not a wire. It does not do wireless. Is what that question is for. To. Great question, and that's something that I should have mentioned. It does do DHCP server, of course, but it does not broadcast its own Wi-Fi. So you would need to connect it to some sort of access point to broadcast. Start doing a Wi-Fi broadcast.
Thank you for that, Jordan. Next question here. Is the PR60X fanless?
Ooh, that's a fantastic question. Let me see. I believe it is. It doesn't. I was looking at the data sheet. Data sheet doesn't really mention anything about there being a fan. So I would say that that there would be. It would be fanless.
Great, thank you for that. Another question here about Insight. The question is Insight free? Can you touch on that?
Yeah, so Insight for the first year is free. So there's 2 Insight subscriptions. If you're not familiar, real quick, it's there's Insight Premium and Insight Pro. Insight Premium basically is the DIY guys, people who want to manage their own business, their own locations. That it is all management is done through and all like payments and subscription based. That's all done through the Insight platform. So that's the 1 year that it comes with, is 1 year free of that Insight Premium. After that, if you want to purchase an additional, you can. It's through the app. Somewhere around like $10 per year per license, not per month, but per year. So this one router would be $10 to have that remote management for the entire year. Then there's the Insight Pro. Insight Pro is more designed for the MSPs. That's where we get into the multi-tenancy. You can start having admin access, read-write access to given to certain people. that's designed really for the MSP with multiple locations and multiple engineers. So you have multiple different logins for each of your engineers. That is also based on a yearly quote, but however, that is only to be available through like an authorized reseller such as Microcom. So as far as that price point goes, that's going to be up to Microcom, but they do have those SKUs. You can reach out to your account manager at Microcom and say, hey, I want the Insight Pro subscription. How much does that cost? They come in packs. They come in one pack of 1, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100 pack. And then they also come in lengths, term lengths. So you can do a 1 year, you can do a 3 year, you can do a 5 year. So of course, it's easy to assume, but yes, the longer the pack, or sorry, the bigger the pack or the longer the term, the more cost effective it becomes per individual license. But 1 year free of the Insight Premium, and then after that it would go to the subscription based build every year.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jordan. Last question here for you. It says, I see the Insight Managed switch. Are the routers Insight Managed as well?
This router is absolutely 100%. Right now, this is the only really business class router that we have outside of our we used to have our Orbi Pro, and the Orbi Pro was also Insight Managed as well. So if you find those routers out there still, that is, and then this new router that comes out, 100% is managed via the Insight, the remote management platform.
Jordan, thank you so much for answering all of those questions for us today. Also, thank you to everyone attending. And if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown here today, please remember this webinar has been recorded and we will post it to our YouTube channel so we can view it again. Follow up with any further questions with us. You are certainly always welcome to do that. Jordan, thank you so much for your time and your excellent presentation today. We will follow up in a couple of months with you to see what we could do next, or to share what NETGEAR will have for us then. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.